in Tech Headquarters. And we will start our session introduction. So I have almost 5+ years of experience in developing and deploying different type of projects. I also worked on
Hello, Osama. Please share your screen now.
okay, okay, got it.
I'm sorry, it's my fault.
Mhm. Just give me a minute. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see now.
Okay, so oops, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me? Uh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, got it. So my introduction. So I'm working in a Salesforce of about 5+ years from now, and I worked in various roles. I started my as a Salesforce career from Salesforce developer. Then I moved administrator, then I moved to solution architect, and now currently I'm working as a consultant and technical project manager. Yep, that's it. Okay, so today we are going to cover advanced Apex security and few tips and best practices. And yeah, that's it. So, okay, what we are going to cover, that's the main thing. So, first we will understand what is an actual Salesforce and how the Salesforce is operating and what is the core architecture of the Salesforce. And then in the next step, we will understand why Salesforce is so focused on the security and what is the data level security. And then we will move to the Apex security, our main topic. So the reason behind for the points why Salesforce so security and data level security. So yes, being a developer, we develop different type of codes, but we don't know the severity and we don't know the logic behind why the data is so important for an organization. So first we will understand that, then we will move to the security. So that's why I added these two steps. So okay, then at the end of the test, tips and best practices about coding level um, that I noticed in my career related to different developers. So what is the Salesforce? Salesforce is basically a customer relationship management, which is this company is started as simple CRM. Then with the passage of the time, this company transforms to SaaS and PaaS, software as a service and platform as a service. And um, as the time goes on, this company provided different type of the services which include data management, sales operation, marketing campaigns, and now in the current era, Salesforce is providing different type of the tools um, um, uh, which can help which can help in improve your customer relationship thing. So it also worked on customer data management, customer support, and offer variety different types of integrations, third party integration, third party tools like just like Zapier, PDF, XYZ. There are a lot of third party, third party applications which are available on the App Exchange. So you can visit that app exchange to understand what type of mostly what type of the third party integrations that Salesforce is offering.
Uh,
So
Sorry to cut you.
okay,
Please go to the next slide on which we are talking about.
sorry.
You are on the first slide.
uh
Yes, sir.
okay, sorry. I think
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'll share my again. I think I share my just one screen. Okay, entire screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
And can you see my slide switching?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So my mistake, my mistake. Okay, so this was the slide I was talking about. So um, yes, with the passage of time, Salesforce is providing a lot of things now. So we can understand these things from a Salesforce platform, Trailhead, App Exchange, different type of integration that Salesforce is offering. We can also integrate our platforms with Salesforce through code. We can also develop a custom applications for the Salesforce. Yes, that's all of these things now the Salesforce is offering. So okay, so move to the next slide. Salesforce architecture. Now, Salesforce architecture is basically a multi-tenant architecture. Multi-tenant, from the name, you can understand that a multiple user is using a single platform. So this is the whole logic behind multi-tenant. So yes, there are different type of tenants which are allocated to different type of users, and the core platform behind those tenants is the same. They are Salesforce is managing all of the database, all of the thing itself, and only the developers are working on front end, and they are handling all of the platform itself. And if we talk about the sorry, if we talk about the different type of the layers that are implemented in Salesforce is application platform and Salesforce. So what is the application layer? Application layer is the layer where different type of applications are placed, like say service standard application which you see in Salesforce. A lot of you guys are familiar with this type of with these applications, uh, and you can build your own custom applications here. And the second one is the platform where whole their framework is implemented, like Lightning, LWC, um, and XYZ, the old one, which was the old one, okay, so I forgot that name. So the whole Lightning platform is implemented here, and the third one is the Salesforce, where whole their database is implemented: IoT and social data, Thunder, CRM, data operations, data management platform, data management operations are performed. So all of these thing is implemented in the third layer. So we are going to learn between application and platform thingy. So Apex exists, on which we worked. We code different type of applications. Apex exists between application and platform layer. We utilize the a Salesforce platform to build different type of applications. So yes, Apex exists between these two layers. So before we go further, just a heads up: data is the key to success of every organization. Um, Data is in the current area, in the current era. Data is the most important thing in the whole organization. Without data and its security, organization cannot achieve their goals. So yeah, that data is the key to success. Okay, so we will focus on why the Salesforce is so focused on security. What is the core reason behind this? First one, that Salesforce, uh, we will we, if we see that why the Salesforce is so successful in the market. This is because of these four things: uh, trust, customer success, innovation, and equality. Trust. What is the trust? Trust is that whenever a customer comes to the Salesforce platform, customers completely trust on their security, on their security perspective, that everything that is belong to the customer is secure and managed. So this is the first point. And the customer success. So with the trust, customer success comes, and with the customer success, organization success comes. So that's the second point. And the innovation is the most important thing. So with the passage of the time, everything that we implemented becomes, deprecated. We have to improve our security with the passage of time. So that's why the Salesforce focus on the innovation so much. Salesforce implemented and improved their infrastructure with the passage of the time, that everything that is related to our their customer is secured and managed, and nothing happened to the data of the customer. So yes, innovation is important. And what is the equality? If you guys got a chance to work in Salesforce organization, you will notice one thing. They encourage a behavior where everyone in the organization participate in their events. So with the participating in their events, there is a, you can say, there's a behavior developed in their employees to implement better and better security. So that's why they focus on these four things. So to achieve these four things, what is the core reason behind to focus on those 4 points? Is to improve the infrastructure of the Salesforce. And how they improve the infrastructure of the Salesforce? Again, security. So they are focusing on the thing where every developer and every employee must implement better and better infrastructure related thing. So for that they invest a lot of developers for that. And they work a lot on their, if you guys notice, with the passage of every year, there are a lot of releases are coming in the Salesforce. So main purpose of those releases is that they are improving their structure, infrastructure, and they are improving their security with the passage of the time. So for that, they implement a trust first culture in their organization. What is the trust first culture? Again, they develop the behavior in their employees, that if you are working on the development level, you have to focus, you have to focus a security first. So yes, that's why, because of what they are implementing is because they prioritize the safeguard of their customer data. So from there, what we learn is that we have to, if being a developer, we are working on a code, we have to develop this behavior in ourselves also. We have to develop a behavior where when we are performing a code, we have to focus on the security must on that. Okay, so data level security. So, what is the data level security? Data level security is basically a sharing a confidential information with the multiple users. So, why we implemented the data level security? Why Salesforce implemented the data level security? Because to share a specific information with the specific user. So if we talk about the Salesforce data level security, there are the four type of data level security. So if we move from bottom to top, then field level security, then record level security, object level security, and organizational level security. Field level security, if you want to hide some of the fields from the specific user, you will revoke the access of that user from the profile, from permission set xyz, and then that user cannot see that field. And same for goes for record level security. You will access the record level access to for that user, and that user will not see the that record. And same goes for object level security. You will revoke the access for that user on object level, and then that user will not access that object. And what about the organization level, how you will manage that? So if you want to give a specific type of access to a specific group of users, then you will move to the organizational level. Like I'm dealing with a department number one and department number two, and I want to show information, specific information to department number one, and I want to hide a specific information from department number two. Then we will what I will do, I will go to the organizational level, and I will hide the give the access to department number one for that information, and then that department can see the information. So that's how the level 4 works. So if we move to the next slide, Apex security. So Apex security is this is the main our topic. Yeah. So when you use the Apex, the security of your code is always critical, because you are typing a code where the security is not implemented. So if you leave your loopholes in your code, then this can cause a breach. And you guys must know that we are living in era where almost every customer is technical. So if your customer is technical, and if your customer bypass your security, then this can cause a serious problem. So you have to consider your security while typing your code. So yes, Apex security is most important thing. So to understand the Apex security, we will learn about sharing rules, object and field permissions, user mode for database operations, strip inaccessible method, and security enforced, and the class security. So the first topic is the sharing rules. So, sharing rules, with the name, it is clear that to share the information with the specific user. So, there are the three type of main sharing rules: with sharing, without sharing, and inherited sharing. So if you how how the sharing rules, you enforce your sharing rules on the code level, you will mark your class with sharing keyword in your code. So if you mark your class with sharing, then that sharing rule will be enforced on your class, and that class work in that perspective. So, and same goes for without sharing. If you want to revoke the sharing rules, if you don't want to enforce the sharing rules on your class, then you will mark your class with the without sharing rule keyword, and then your class will not work. Then those sharing rule will not enforce on your class. And what about the inherited sharing? Inherited sharing is a keyword which is declared when you want to, let's say you have two classes, and you A and B, and you write a keyword in a class B with inherited sharing. And now what will happen? That class will be inherit the sharing rules of that class which is called from other class. Like class A is I call the class B from the class A, and then the class A will sharing rules will be enforced on the class B also. So this happens here in the inherited sharing. So it is, if the class is declared as inherited sharing, it runs in the sharing mode of the class that called it. So that's a simple. If the class declared is inherited sharing, it runs with the sharing, with sharing by default. Yeah, obviously, if you are declaring your class with the keyword inherited sharing, then the with sharing info rules are enforced automatically. So these are the three sharing keywords which we normally utilize in our code. So for the Apex security, object and field level permissions. So by default, Apex doesn't enforce the object and field level permissions. To enforce those, we have to utilize a schema dot describe as object result class. So there are the different type of methods that are available in that class to check the field and object level security. I want to check a field level security, that I can access that field or not. I will I will declare that field with that method, and that method will identify that that I can access that field or not. Similarly goes for the object. uh, there are a lot of methods are available in that, but there are few methods which we are going to focus on. Is accessible, is creatable, is updatable, is deletable, is custom setting, is curable, is undeletable, is searchable. So is accessible, when you declare your code with this method, this will give the result that you can access this field or not. With the name it is clear. So is creatable, we can create that field, we can create that object, we can create any field in that object or not. Is updatable, that field or object, we can update or that field or object or not. And is custom, yes, is custom, for if we want to identify that the object name that we are sending to the method is custom or not, this method will give the results. Is custom settings. Similarly, if you want to identify, if you guys work on the custom settings, then the name, API name of the custom settings and the normal object is almost same. Custom object, you say. So to identify the difference between the current API name is the custom setting or not, we can use this method. That is queryable, that we can query on that object or field or not. Is undeletable, we can delete that object or field or not. Is searchable, from the name it is clear, we can search, we can perform the searching on that or not. So on the code level, you can write like that: object.contact.fields.email dot is updatable, just like that. Sorry, yeah, yeah. And for the is creatable, you can see that we are performing a simple CRUD operations here. Delete is accessible, creatable, updatable. For the CRUD operations, you can do like that. And if we want, for the other methods, we can do the code like that, which I implemented here. Is custom settings, is curable, is undeletable, is searchable. So yes, you can do that. And for more information, there are a lot of methods I mentioned from the start. There are a lot of methods are available in that class, in this class. So if you want to learn about those other methods, you can go to this link which I mentioned here, and you can learn about more about those methods. Yes. Okay. So what is the user mode? If you want to, you can say, if you want to implement a user level field and object permissions on your, you can say, on your code, you can use a user mode keyword in your sockle. Let's say sockling on an account object, and I want to check that that this user has a access on account object or not. Then what I will do is that I will write a query sockle where ID from account where use with user mode. So now the user permission set and user permission sets are implementing enforcing on in your code, and now the code will check that that this current user to that object or not. So there's a simple, if you want to implement a user mode on a uh, on a on a DML level, like this access level, it's a class, and you can use the enums for that access level dot user mode, and for the code syntax database dot query, and write your sockle, and in the second parameter declare access level dot user mode. Now the user mode will be will enforce the permission set or your access on your code, and it will check that the current user has an access on that account object or not. So that's a simple. So this is the user mode. Okay, so strip inaccessible. So this is the method implemented, I think, in 2023 or 22, because there are a lot of things that going on. There are a lot of cases are open on the Salesforce, because a lot of people were talking about that how we can check the code level access, and how we can do that. So Salesforce worked a lot on this thing, and yes, strip inaccessible method is very useful method. And so for the sockle, and this method is basically used for sockle and DML both. So there are the three ways to utilize this method. Actually, there are the four parameters. One is the access type. Okay, one is the access check type, source record, enforce root, object CRUD, and permission set ID. So okay, just for the heads up, Ghulam, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, okay, got it. So access check type. So what is the access check type parameter? So this is a simple enum, and there for the we can check that the current object or field is creatable, readable, updatable, upsertable or not. So we pass the parameter here, and source record the list of those S objects whose access we want to check. So enforce root object CRUD, it's a boolean indicate whether the object level access check is performed or not. Permission set ID. This parameter is interesting. So if you want to if you don't declare this method, this parameter, then whole this method will work on your profile level access. And if you want to enforce a specific type of permission set in your code while using this method, then you will declare a hard coded method, a hard coded ID, you can declare that, or you can declare you can fetch through a permission set ID through sockle and pass the ID here. Then what will happen, that permission set will be enforced in your code, and you can work on that side also. So yes, these are the few examples in my code. uh, I have a method validate access, and first of all I write a sockle on that on this custom object. And in the strip inaccessible method I pass three parameters. Readable, I'm checking the readable access, And then second one is the database dot query. I'm passing this query to that. And the third one is the true, the boolean method. So I'm checking the object level that I want to check or not. So what will happen here, actually I literally form this error here through string dot format. So actually the main thing to show you guys is that this thing, yeah, oh sorry, uh,
Osama, can you
so
please
this,
open your screen?
sorry,
Can you please zoom?
which,
Zoom.
okay, zoom, yes, can you guys see now?
Yep, it's
Okay,
good.
so the most important thing that I want to show you guys is that this field, this method is detecting that I don't have the access for this field on this object, and it is also giving me the field which I don't have an access, and it also showing me the object that for which object this field I don't have an access. So yep, this method helps a lot in your code. And if you want to enforce enforce the permission set, similar syntax, strip inaccessible, your access type, and then your query, then boolean, and at the end of this, a permission set ID. So then that permission set will be enforced on your code. Yes. Okay. So move on. Security enforced keyword. So Salesforce also invented this uh, but in my opinion, strip inaccessible is much better option, because strip inaccessible is gives you a field name and the object name which you don't have an access. So security enforced is basically to check the security on the socket level only. So let's see, I have a socle which I'm sockling on the custom object, and again the same field, allow code payment, and I declare this with security keyword at the end of this socle. Now when I access this method, then the Salesforce gives me this error: insufficient permission, secure query included inaccessible field. So this yes this keyword checks your security, but it is not showing me that which field or which object I don't have an access. So this is the I can say this is the drawback of this keyword. But yeah, if this depends on your requirement. If you want to show the access of field names of which you don't have an access, then you can use the strip inaccessible. And if you don't want to show the field names, then you can utilize this keyword. So what are the main disadvantages of this keyword? Is it doesn't work on the polymorphic fields. Let's say you can say user dot id type fields, type fields. You can say if you are sockling on that, then this keyword will not work on that. And especially there are the different type of circles. When you are using a type of else keywords in your circle, then this keyword will not work on that also. And the third one, which I as mentioned, it will not show you a field API name. So these are the three main advantages of this keyword. So that's why I prefer strip inaccessible. Okay. So class level security. Okay, this is a simple thing. If you want to Most of your developers, most of you guys are developers, and you know about this option. And if you want to revoke a class level access for a specific user, then you will go to profile, and from profile you will find a enable Apex class access. From there, you click the edit button and you revoke the access. So this is a simple, from the Salesforce side level security in the Apex level. So similarly, you are using the permission sets, you assign a specific permission set to a user, and you want to revoke or give an access to the class access to a specific user. You will go to the permission sets. From the permission set, you will find an option Apex class access. Go to that, and from that click edit, and you want to revoke, then remove that class name. If you want to give an access, then add the class name. So it will simply give the access to that specific users. Okay, tips and best practices. Okay, this is the code which I want to mention here. Is the professionalism is difficult, uh, but with difficulties you achieve your goals. So if you this is the same motive that the Salesforce is working on. They are trying to achieve the professionalism, and with the professionalism, they are achieving their goals in the market. So from the tips from my side for the good coding is keep your code clean first. um, I see a lot of I see a lot of developers in my career that they code a lot of lines, but they didn't code they didn't keep their code clean. They didn't how to keep your code clean. Use proper indentation, proper spacing, proper naming conventions, proper, use your regions, you use your commands. This all of these will keep your code clean. So, and the second point, as I mentioned, is use region and commands in your code so other developers can easily understand your logic, because there are a lot of methods to do one logic. Let's say developer A is working on a XYZ logic, and with the passage of the time, he leaves that company, and the new developer comes in. And what he will do, he will try to understand your that developer logic. So if you proper mention in the region or in the comments, then the coming developer will easily understand that what is going on in that code. So use proper regions, proper comments in your code. And the third point, don't write extra line of code, because compiler compiles every line of code. So extra line of code means extra time of compile. So whole code, extra time to compile whole code, and plus it is not clean code. So this is an example which I observed in my whole career, and I also do these type of simple mistakes. Like, if I want to assign a user ID to a variable which is named as user, I can do that. This is the first option. Sorry, I'm pointer. This is the first option. And the second option is this. So in the second option, the developer is declaring a user with an empty string and then assigned to the user. So these are, although these both options are working the same thing, but to keep your code clean and professional, you have to follow the clean code guidelines. How to keep your code clean. So this is the third tip from my side. So, and the fourth tip is your code must be efficient, which means you have to handle all your perspectives, null handling, empty cases. Most of the developers do a lot of code, but they leave the gaps where they didn't handle the null handling. So what happens, so if the developer run their code in sorry if I'm saying developer, if a customer run their code in another perspective where the values are null, then the code will break. So your code must be efficient. Your code must handle all of your scenarios. So with these 4 points, I think you will achieve the professionalism, and you will achieve a good behavior in your coding technique. So yes, do that. And from the best practices, if you are working on the Apex code, there are a lot of points which I observed in my career. I'm again saying I also doing these mistakes. So first, bulkify your Apex code. Must do that. If you are working on the triggers, especially, must bulkify that code. If you don't bulkify your code, then this will cause a huge step back, and it will break. It will create a bad impact on the customer. So avoid SOCL and DML inside for loop. So whenever you start your career, most of the developers doing this mistake. So they are circling inside the for loop, and they are performing a DML operations inside the for loop. So yes, this is a huge mistake, and Salesforce doesn't support that. Okay, so optimize SOCL queries to avoid termite issues. Uh, Worked on the SOCL queries. SOCL is a major point, because you are, let's say you are working on a thousands of records, and most of the developers do one thing. They SOCL extra fields in their in their queries, uh, and the developer is not utilizing those fields. So this is adding a time in the SOCL. So this is very important point related to the SOCL. Avoid hard coding IDs. um this is a this is a m- fourth point is the most important point, because I observe lot of developers doing that. They are hard coding the IDs in their test cases, in their test data. They are doing that. So avoid that. Use database methods while doing DML operations. So this is a good approach. Exception handling in Apex code. This is the most important thing, I think, while doing the Apex code. Exception handling is the is the key to your code, because if you not using your try catch code in your Apex code, this will cause you a huge step back, because try catch will identify and beautify your you can say beautify your Apex code, and plus it will give you a proper error in your code. So must focus on this sixth point. Write one trigger per object. This is also a most important thing. Most of the developers, what they did is that they write a different triggers for different approaches. So don't do that. Write one trigger and handle all of the scenarios in one trigger, and write a helper class to perform a logic in your in your project. Okay, security and sharing in Apex Code, which we discussed in the today's topic, must focus on that. Must focus on the sharing rules. use the proper permission sets, profile permissions, write a proper, DML permissions. Must focus on that, on this thing. Make reusability of Apex code. This is also a very good point. Write your code in that perspective that you can reusable your Apex code. And this is also a concept of OOP, reusability. And what this help in your code, this will keep your code clean. So code coverage. Okay, code coverage. Most of the developers, uh, I I focused, I observe a lot of, bad habits related to this point, code coverage. Most of the developers, what they did is that if they are facing a difficulty in code coverage, they write the try catch, and in catch they didn't throw the exception, and they pass that coverage through the test classes. So this is very bad habit. You have to cover all your perspectives in the code coverage while writing the test classes. You have to cover every line, every perspective. Uh, what this helps in you, in your code, in your coding career, it will increase your logic, coding logic. How can you write a good logic while covering a whole perspective? So also must focus on this point. Okay, avoid nesting loops. uh, you must avoid these nested loops, but if you are facing a much difficulty, then you can write a 1 to 2 nested loops. Okay, fine, no problem. But Salesforce encourages that you must not use the nested loops, because nested loops increase the processing time. So this will, you can say, this will decrease the time of your execution. Sorry. Don't mix Apex process builder workflow rules and record triggers flows. This is also a very good point, because in my career I also observed that many developers, they write the trigger, process builders, workflows at the same point, and what will happen at the end, they conflict with each other. So if you receive a specific type of requirement, and first think that how can you achieve that, through process builder, through workflow, through record trigger, or through anything, or through triggers, Apex triggers. First thing that, and try to focus on one perspective only. If you are focusing on the process builder, then focus on that. If you are focusing on the workflow rules, then focus on that. If you decided that I want to implement the Apex trigger, okay, then don't touch other things. Because sometimes record updated and deleted at the same time, and the record process builder or workflow is triggering at the same time, and the trigger is also initiating at the same time. It will create a conflict, and when these things are conflict, and then you will get frustrated. So sorry. So this is very important point. Apex naming convention. This is also a bad habit. Most of the developers didn't use the proper name of the variables in their code. They write the code. Let's say, I also observe that some of the developers write a string A, like they are declaring these variables like that. String A is equals to empty string. So use proper name. uh, if the name is lengthy, there is no problem. Use the lengthy name, no problem, but use proper name, because from the variable name you will understand what is the purpose of the variable and how the variable is impacting your logic. So much focus on this, point. Okay, write your code efficiently, which I mentioned in the previous slide. Write your code in efficient way that every perspective of your code must handle, and every side of your logic must be handled in this. Use asynchronous apex. So this is a simple. Use limit of data is too much in Sokal. So if you are working on the thousands of records and you are not using a batch classes, then must implement the limit keyword in your Sokal. Otherwise, your process will get slow, and your whole application will impact it. So there are the two options for the large data. Simple. One is the batch classes. You move to the batch classes. If you don't want to write the batch classes for your scenario, then you have to implement the limit keyword, for your Sokal. It will increase your processing power, or your application execution time. It will increase that. So these are the best practices from my side, and thank you guys for this session, and hope you guys will understand. And if there's any mistake from my side, and then I'm sorry for that. So yep, Gulam, on your side.
Thank you, Sama, for this session. And if you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat. Our microphone is also open. Feel free to speak that question, please.
Okay, Osama, so I have some queries for you.
Okay.
Can you please go back to with sharing and without sharing slide? I have
Which
a little bit confusion at that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so as far I know, sharing rule are part of OWD. Okay, and those sharing rules have their own mechanism and do not have relationship with Apex class. But you are saying that
Mhm.
when we use with sharing keyword, it will also enforce sharing rules, while we see that sharing rules are part of OWD, and it's a complete whole
Actually.
separate story.
Mhm. Okay, actually, when you declare your class with the with sharing keyword, then the permission sets which you assign to the user, or the sharing rules which you declare from the Salesforce side is enforced your code. Let's say you create a sharing rule for a account object, and you want to enforce those sharing rules on your code. Then you will do, you will write a class with sharing, and you will write a method where you will operate the operation, you will perform the operation on that object, and then that those sharing rules will be enforced on that method also. Yeah.
No, but it's come under the object and fee level security, but not the sharing rules and OWD. That's what I'm
I
saying.
Umar is right. I think the sharing rules, by sharing rules, you grant access of your OWD. That's it.
So, Usman,
Yes,
am I audible?
yes, yes.
See, the problem
Yes.
is here is, uh, see, when we are saying sharing rule, so what is happening is Salesforce is providing a user access to that record through sharing rule,
Okay.
Yes.
which a user may not have explicitly access to that. So when we are saying with sharing and without sharing rule, so it means a user might already have access to this record through sharing rules. You
Yes,
got the
that's the
idea?
point.
So
Yes.
Yes.
when we are saying with sharing, it means user had already access to this record through sharing rule, and now we want through Apex enforce the user permission uh,
Yes.
while we are executing this code. And when we are
Only the
saying
load the
without
record where
sharing,
they had where he has access to, right?
yes,
Either
yes,
from
yes,
profile
Yes.
permission or from.
yes, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Got it.
Yes. That's the point. That's the point that I want to. I'm
So,
trying to
and
explain.
when we are saying without sharing, it means forget about everything. I want to
Yes.
execute it with full system admin permission, system level permission. That's what is happening.
Okay, okay. So, some more curious from my side. Let's say, can you please go to the slide where you were talking about Apex class, security of Apex class?
Apex.
Yes,
Which one?
Apex class security.
Okay. This one?
Apex class. No, no.
Yes.
Yeah,
Apex
this one.
class.
Okay, so
Okay. Okay.
it's something like
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried it, but let's say you don't have access on your profile for Apex class, but your code
Mm-hmm.
class Apex class is without sharing. Now what will happen?
Mm-hmm. So your question is that you don't have the Apex class access on your
Yes,
profile level,
yes,
and the class is declared with the without sharing key.
yes, yes,
Okay, so simple. Yeah, you cannot access that class because because the you can say your root is the profile level. If you don't have the profile level access, then you cannot access that class. Whatever you writing in the class with inherited, you cannot access that class. So actually the without and with and inherited, these are used to enforce the sharing rules, not to access, revoke or give the access to the class. If you want to, let's say you can access this window, but I revoke your profile from the ground level, then you cannot access this, this slide. So this happens, same thing is happening in here. So if you want to enforce the security level, then you will go to the without and with. And if you can if the class is revoked from the profile level, then you cannot access this class. So this is the simple. Yeah.
okay, okay. So
Yes.
everything is clear from my side, but can you please elaborate a bit more about user mode and system mode and when we should use which
Okay, user mode.
and
user
system mode?
mode user mode Yeah. Okay, I'm going to that slide. Yep, this is a user mode for the Sockland. Okay, the system mode is basically, you can say, by default your code work in the system mode. If you are not enforcing the permission sets or access level, XYZ, then and you are not declaring the if you don't declare the access user mode in your code, then all of your code will work in the system perspective, that the system is enforcing its own security on your code. And if the user level access, I want to enforce the user level access on my code, then you will go to the user mode. So this is the main difference between the user mode and the system mode. Whenever you go to the access and write your code, then whole of your code will work under the system mode. Let's say how can I explain that? Let's say you have an account object, and by default, you starting writing your code, and by default, you don't have the access to the account object, and then you will sockle on the account object. You cannot access that account object. Simple. And let's say I write a permission set, and I want to enforce a specific user mode on my code, and in that user mode, object is accessible. So whenever I write the keyword with user mode, then then I can easily access the account object, and that's it. So this is the main difference between the user mode and the system mode. When in the system mode, whole of your code is operating under the system perspective, and in the user mode, your whole code is operating under the user mode only. So this is the, yeah, main
Uh,
difference.
Yeah.
okay, like
Umar, Umar,
okay,
just
okay,
a minute. Let
okay.
me explain. Let's say you have organization-wide defaults as private for an account, and you need to check duplicate. So if I'm running in a user mode, even if I will try to query and check for duplicates, the day system will not return me anything, because
Okay.
system will query always based
System
on
one.
the records which I have access. So
Okay.
in that
Yes.
case, I cannot force user mode. So in that case, my controller or whatever class I will use, it has to be in a system mode in order to query data throughout the account object.
Okay.
You got
Yes.
idea
Okay.
behind that? Yeah.
So then why we need the key, like there is a keyword security enforced, why we need that? If code is already
uh,
is operating under user mode or system mode and we have security implemented over it, then why we need that
mhm.
keyword
Uh,
security enforced?
Security enforced is basically a something else. It let's suppose you don't have a specific field access, and somehow you are running an application, and your application is accessing that query, where your query is working on that field which you don't have an access. It will restrict you. So this is security enforce is something else. It's not about the user mode, or it's not about the system mode. It's about a field level security or object level security, that it means current user have an access to that object or field or not. That's a simple. So this is something else. It's not about the user mode.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yes. Yes. So
So,
hopefully I g-
Sam, can you
I
go to the
answer your
last slide?
questions.
I have one thing I just want to highlight,
Yes.
if you mind.
Sorry.
The last
Which slide?
tips and tricks. I think it was the last one. Second last one.
Okay.
The last one is thank you slide. Uh,
Yes.
Still, we can see the Apex security slide if you're switching.
I switched it.
Osama is on best practices slide, by the way.
Yes.
Best. Yeah. Best practice. Okay. Tips and good coding.
Yeah, there was a point mentioned. No, the last one where you highlighted. I think 18 points.
Yes.
The second last one.
Where you put the points. Next one, I think.
Okay.
Don't write your extra line of code.
No, no, no. The
This
next
point.
slide. Next slide. Next slide.
Okay. Next slide.
Yes.
Yes.
Eh,
This slide. Best practices.
Well, I can see the still the tips for good
But
coding.
I think due to some internet connection, your screen is.
Yes. This is because
Okay.
of
So there was a
internet
point
connection.
mentioned about what was that? Avoid hard codings, and then avoid nesting loop,
Yes.
then the reusability of the code, security and sharing,
Yes.
the code efficiency, naming convention. So, is there any
Yes.
mechanism we can implement to ensure everything in one go? Can we use any tool?
Um.
Yeah, Osama, I wanted to you can just add some extension for the PMD, and everything will be highlighted there. Avoiding use nested loops or avoiding nested if else statements. You can uh, install some PMD extension for that.
So there is a point also on
Yes.
the right hand side, 8 number use asynchronous apex. So let's say I
Mhm.
have 10 future method, let's say 10 queueable, let's say any async operation, which is triggering
Mhm.
whenever I update or create a record from the Apex trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we control the sequence of those async operations? Let's say I want to execute the method number 3 in the number 1, and the method number 5 in the second time, and the second number.
Mm-hmm.
Then how we can do that?
Actually, this depends on your requirement. You have to focus on this point. Try to your code in the asynchronous way. If your requirement is like that, where you cannot focus on the asynchronous approach, then okay, no problem, no problem. The application will work and everything will work, but if you are trying to write a simple code, simple logic, if you are trying to write a simple application, then you can focus on this point. This will what this decrease your execution time. But if your requirement is just like that, you have a multiple methods, multiple this XYZ, then okay, no problem.
You
Just
see, let's
for
say
the
my
best
requirement
practices
is
or
that
good
I
approach.
want to read data from multiple system in from the trigger. Let's say I want to write
Hmm.
the read
Yeah.
the information from system A, system B, system C, and system D. I need all of these operation in a
Yes.
sequence from the apex trigger with the
Yes. You
async
cannot.
data.
Mhm.
So what would happen? Because let's say that is
Mhm.
my requirement, that my actual requirement as part of the complex system. I want to read the
Okay.
information from in a
Hmm.
sequence way from all the system. Then I need to update the last fifth system by reading all of the previous information from every system.
Hmm. So yes, in your scenario, you cannot follow this asynchronous, because it will increase a lot of time in your application, and and you are saying that there are a lot of systems you want to read from. So you cannot follow this because if you I'm suggesting this point. If you have 1 to 2 systems and you want to read a data from that, then you can follow this. From the system one, I read the data, and from the system two, and then I read the data. So if you have multiple systems, this will increase your time in the application. For that, you can move to the future methods. You can move to the synchronous approach, and you have to move that, because this will if you follow this asynchronous, it will increase the time, and which can be I think bad impact on the
Yeah,
customer.
I think for the
This
simple
depends.
operations, simple operation, let's
Hmm.
say the simple method, you have one method only, a two method, future method,
Hmm.
which are doing something, not in the async operation,
Okay.
not they are not calling any
Hmm.
web services. But let's say in the master detail relationship where you have two, three objects as a master detail relationship, and in the grandchild object you have a trigger which they are calling each other, vice versa. So
Hmm.
so how
This
we
is
can do
complex, yeah.
that? So
Yeah. First of all, your question is actually the question is your question is that you are calling from the third systems, and plus you are also using the triggers. So this is creating a mess in your system, correct?
because in the real estate systems we have these kind of requirement. In real estate
Hmm.
system, whenever we onboard a
Yes,
customer, we
yes,
need
yes,
to
yes.
read his security clearance, is the like trade license
Yes.
information if they have already. Then
Hmm.
they get
Exactly.
Oracle system to create the account in Oracle system, and the billing system to create
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
invoices after the onboarding. But at the time of
Yes.
onboarding, we need to read information from the other systems from, then get those information in Salesforce and
Okay.
combine them and summarize them, then send it to another system for the next operations.
Hmm. So yes, you can in your case you can follow the synchronous approach. You have to move in the pipeline system, because this is your scenario. Actually, this is depend on the requirement, and your requirement is to is just like you have to move in the synchronous, otherwise your system will, you can your system can be breakdown, because in the execution there is an execution time also. When you exceed that time, this the system, the application will crash. So okay, so for the triggers, all those processes in which the trigger is involved, you can run in the separate pipeline, and all the other processes you can run in the separate pipeline. So all of the whole thing will combine at the end, and it will give you a result. So yes, in your approach, you cannot follow the asynchronous attacks. Yes.
Yeah, my point is also this. I think Usman is talking about something like that. The threads may be
Hmm.
some other language, but as you know, threads are not supported in the Salesforce. So you can
Hmm.
for the first approach, you can use asynchronous Apex. Then you can write a trigger to move your second logic or maybe next logic in the synchronous Apex. Asynchronous will not be
Hmm.
a
Exactly.
But the thing is, uh, I want these everything is in one go. Let's say I'm creating one account, lead is being converted,
Hmm.
and I need everything to be executed. I need data from the other systems. So I believe the async option is feasible here. We can use the queuable as in async Apex. We have double Salesforce kernel limits.
Hmm.
I think, Usman, your particular scenario, you can have, async Apex with the queuable jobs, because one job,
Hmm.
once you will execute one job, then it will automatically trigger the other job. So, but you need to control the full execution mechanism,
Yeah.
because otherwise it will not work.
Yeah, you can also follow a one approach, which is the chain job. Let's say you are writing a batch job for one operation, and when the one operation is complete, then the other job is started at the after the completion of the first job. So
Well,
yes.
Osama, there is something here. For one record,
Mhm.
I don't think so. Writing a batch class for one record and
Yes,
one
that's
type of
good.
operation, it's an
Yeah,
overkill.
for one record, yeah.
You are
Hmm.
trying to execute 9 different methods, and then in that case you need to write 9 different batch classes. Once it is
Yeah.
finishing, you are doing another one. So
Hmm. That's also a good
yeah.
point. Yes. Hmm.
Yep. Is there anything else? Then I think we are good to end this event.
All right.
It
Thank you
was
very much,
it was
everyone.
very informative session for
For
everyone. So
this
let's
event,
at
and
least we have discussed
Thank you,
together
guys.
and contributed a lot.
many things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hope I answer all of your questions. So if there is
Yes,
any
we did. We
mistake
did.
from my side, then I'm
No,
sorry for that. Yeah.
was
Everybody is learner.
discussion.
Some are those, so
Yes,
not a problem.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.